What's up, guys? Welcome back to BlockHash, exploring the blockchain, another BlockHash exclusive. Today, got a really exciting guest here in Medellin at Hash House, Ana Escobar, who is an artist who's also looking to get into NFTs at some point, who is exploring very unique ways of doing art through experiences, like experiential type of art. I'll let her explain it. She's the artist, not me. And a couple other things that we'll talk about. It's going to be a great interview. But I want to give her a chance to kind of explain who she is and do a bit of an introduction. So if you want, tell the audience a bit about your background, your story, who is Ana?
Hi, everybody. Okay, my name is Ana Escobar. I'm an artist, designer, also I'm an entrepreneur. I like to create experiences like environments, and my background is in art education. Also, I have a master in art in France, and I'm finishing my another master in science, technology, and innovation management. So I like to mix things. I like to create things with art, science, and technology projects. So sometimes as I'm the director of the project, and people can develop my project. So I like to create big things in different places, like specific things in specific places. For example, if I go an expedition to some place, I like to enter in the material culture of that place. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just okay, I'm open to connect different things, like different symbols and different elements, materials, and I enter for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. It depends of the project. So it's like a project that connects human being with material culture. And when I start with that, I take pictures, I make videos, and also I like to write poetry and write about the place, about the ecology, about the economy of the place. So with that art, with that instruments and that information and data, I like to create that my art installation. So to create experience, in situ experience. Sometimes it's in a place you can have access. Most of the people can have access, but sometimes it's in the end of the world, like in France, for example. I create there for 2 years a project in a place that is the end of the world for Celtic people. So it was so weird, but the only thing that I can bring is pictures, pictures or videos or just the history. So sometimes when you create things like that, we need to find a founding. And that's the most difficult part, because imagination can go far away. You can say, okay, I want to create that and build that. And when you are a sculptor, when you are a person that is that want to build things or create things in a place that is a nowhere place, you need an energy that put there in the project. So it's been so difficult in that way, but sometimes when you are creative and you find a way. So it's so weird, but I like to create things like that, connect things, also connect people in different worlds with different elements. So it's my project is more like that.
Awesome. How long have you been in art and doing art? Have you been doing it since a little kid? Did you start recently? How far back does it go for you?
Okay, that's a really cool question, because my family is so artistic, and my mom is a philosopher, and my dad is an artist. So when I was a baby, I started creating things. So I also, if I don't create, I destroy things. It's so weird. So when one day my mom arrived at home, and I was 3 years old. And I put what is the name of the tape that it was in in the cassettes, cassettes. I started using cassette tapes to create environment when I was a kid. And it was so weird, because my mom, she was oh, you are so cute. But then it was you destroy all the music, but I create the environment. So I started when I was a kid at paintings. And also, when sometimes when my dad used to go to mountains here close to Medellin, that is in Rio Negro, Llano Grande, in a farm of my a friend's farm, and we used to go in the top of the mountains to paint the landscapes. So that was my childhood, like just painting, creating things, just connecting. And so I discovered that I was an artist when I was a kid. And also I used to design. So my dad and my mom, they never give me like toys, like normal toys. So I was like, I need to create my toys. So I used to create with paper my own cartoons and my own toys. And the end of the toy was the end of the paper, like when I destroyed the paper. So that was the origins. And also I entered to study biology, and it was so weird because when I started, I was like all the time I imagine everything as a piece of art. I was like, okay, I need to change my field because everything is like art. So yeah.
That's interesting. It sounds like you were a very destructive kid, pulling the tape out of the cassettes and making toys out of things. I bet that kind of led to your creativity today, huh? Really sparked it, and I can see how that translates a little bit with the type of art you make today, taking materials and different things, different. And I've seen some of it on Instagram. You showed me too, different textures, different items, and they all invoke this experience or environment that you're in. Do you want to kind of talk about maybe some of the ones you've done recently that are notable to you, that maybe are really interesting? Just kind of give people an idea of the type of experiences you've created through art.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. In Colombia, I started creating like a project with a natural fiber that is called cabuya, that is, or like agave, sent from a fiber from the agave, and it's like a kind of a penca. I don't know what is the name of English. It's like a aloe vera plant that is like so native here, and I discovered that it was like a goal. That was a really cool material to talk about our experience here in this country, in Latin America, and also something that doesn't destroy in the planet, because it's a really beautiful plant, and you can also take liquor from that. So I enter in the plants. I like to enter in the projects, and with that fiber, I started creating like a big environments, like an organism that take all the place. So it's an in situ project in a specific place, and I started with a small organism in a parking part. So it was like a small, so you can enter as an insect. I like to take the human being as an insect inside this project. Like if we with the metaphor, if we destroy nature, it's like sometimes it's our nature being like destroy and create things. So we are a paradox, and so I create this project that is a lot of energy that I put, and to create, like, it depends of the place. When it's so big the place, I like to take all the places and corners and connectings, so you feel that you are inside like a spider web, or like an insect, that a big insect that create this big structure, and for a moment you feel that you are small in this relationship with the nature. So this is like a ephemeral experience, like ephemeral architecture. Ephemeral architecture is like the same thing that architecture, but it's just for a moment, like a period of time. So this architecture is something like that, and you connect. And I sometimes I say I need to be careful with my imagination, because I just imagine that it was like a small project, but in this moment I create like a big. Last year I create for the MAC museum, the museum, Contemporary Museum in Bogota, a big spider web for a gallery in Bogota. So it was like a super big with a big like a 4-5 floors. So I need to say, okay, I need to be careful with that, because sometimes it's extreme.
Interesting. Yeah, the spider web one, it seems like it takes forever to set up because you're like connecting everything. Like, is that like an all day ordeal? Like, it seems like a lot of work goes into that.
Yeah, when it's so big, I need help. So in that case, I'm the like the director of the artwork. So I need to transmit like my gesture, like my experience with materials to the others. So my assistants they create this, and I say, okay, let's go here. We need to feel the energy, we need to feel the space, and everything is like a sometimes it's chaotic, but there is an order. So it's not just me, and when it's so big, it depends. So, is it small? I can do it, but it's a lot of work. So it's also like the work of nature, and we destroy the work of nature. It's like the metaphor of that. Also.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work goes into it. I imagine you need a lot of helping hands, putting that stuff together. And you build it all by yourself at home and in like the backyard, or where do you do these things and take the time to do it?
Okay, for example, with this ephemeral architecture, no, I don't do it at home because I need a place to show this project. Like I create all the in the sketch, and I design this project, and I need to like think about that, think about this at home in my tablet. But when I go in the place, they give me the place. So it's for me it's better when I share. But I have another project that is with tires, and it's like marea negra. It's like this oil shoot. What is the name of the oil shoot? It's like this big wave of oil. So I create like a forest with tires, like algae forest. And in that case, how it's modular and you put in the place and you can install. So I measure the place, but I create that at home. So I mix. It depends of the project.
Okay, got it. No, I really like the idea and the take of doing something experiential with art, because you see lots of photos and drawings and paintings and even sculptures, but not. And I've seen some, but not a whole lot, where you're like able to immerse yourself into something and have an experience where that can maybe give you insight or give you an idea or take you into an idea the artist has, or it's like going into the painting. It's like a Blues Clues type of effect when you jump into the painting and you're somewhere else. So it's kind of nice, seeing an artist doing that. And we talked about NFTs a couple times as well as being another really interesting way that people are using art today to help better tell the stories they want to tell and convey the messages they want to convey, and doing them in very new and creative ways digitally. And I feel like this translates very well into, the world of blockchain and Web3, with NFTs giving maybe something that's experiential, like what you're doing, like an extra edge maybe, or an extra feature to it where they can experience it in a similar way. Have you thought about more how you could potentially use NFTs with your art, and maybe what that could look like? Because it's a very maybe groundbreaking way of art and NFTs, and very curious to your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I enter like making this research about NFTs because I say this is a lot of energy that I need to put to create things. So you create and you destroy because you put and then you take it and at home or someone buy it, but it's so local. So you create in Colombia or you put it in another country, and you need to pay a lot to transport the material, to show, and also your body, your energy. That's a lot of things. So I just feel that with this blockchain and NFT, you can create the experience. Like when you put glasses, I feel that in that way, like an artist, you can create a world. So you can say to the other, like, okay, you can enter in my world. This is a thing that I'm creating, like I'm sculpting. My imagination doesn't have limits. So I feel that it's tool that we can use to expand our imagination, because sometimes I feel that in this country everything is more difficult. Like when you are in Colombia and you need to wait for like a company or the government that they give you money, or the gallery, sometimes they don't give you. They just like, okay, yes, you can, you have the space, but you need to pay for everything. Like you need to pay for the material, you need to pay for your things, your trip. And I feel that with blockchain and NFTs, you can have like an extra help. Like, and sometimes when you are designing your environments, there are like a digital assets, digital things. So I feel that it's a really cool way to find investors, to find people that love your artwork, and they say if it's with these layers of knowledge and these layers of concepts, and I feel that it works. It works, and also you can send to the other part of the world. Okay, I want to enter in this cool experience with the kabuya material, for example, and you put the glasses, and you can enter. Maybe you can't touch because it's difficult, but you can feel the experience in a better way. So I feel in that way is super cool to enter in NFTs.
I feel like this would be great for like the metaverse too. I got a story. I have a friend that's an artist in Chicago, and a couple of years ago, she had an exhibition at a gallery in Chicago that's really popular. And what they did is, instead of actually putting up her artwork in the gallery, they left the gallery completely blank. All the walls were white. There's nothing on display, nothing on the floors, nothing on the ceiling, nothing anywhere. It just looked like an empty room. And then when people would walk in, they could put on a headset, or they could use their phone, and they would have like an AR like app. And when they hold up their phone, they can see the entire experience. But in real life, it's not there. But virtually, it is. And what was really cool about it is she was able to take her art and have it floating in the room, and floating in front of the walls and hovering above the ground. And people could walk up to it and interact with it and learn about it. But in real life, again, it wasn't there. But virtually, it was. And it's really cool because it was a bit more practical and sustainable. Whereas she doesn't have to go, bring all of her artwork, risk it maybe getting ruined, something happening to it, maybe getting stolen, or someone spilling a coffee on it, or having to put all the effort into setting it up and build it out. She just builds it out one time digitally, and she never has to do it again, and it's there permanently forever. So it's a bit more sustainable, but at the same time, it preserves it almost indefinitely, and you can take that concept and apply it anywhere, almost instantaneously. So you could take one of your experiences, like the ones you're talking about, and you only need to build it out one time. And then you map it and maybe put it into VR, use the metaverse, use NFTs maybe to represent it. And then that virtual item that they're interacting with, they can sell or they can own. I feel like that could be a really, really interesting direction for the type of artwork you're doing. And I've seen some similar things done, but I think with an experience, it might be, super, super cool. Have you thought about using the metaverse, using VR maybe, or AR on the phone to maybe bring that to life a bit more?
Yeah, I started thinking about that like 2 years ago. Like, sometime I entered in one of my art installation that is the tires, this ocean of material, and I entered like that. It was like, okay, we are like a fishes, and then it was like, oh, that can be super cool to have like a different kind of fish, but I don't want to create the sculpture. I want to see like that entering the art installation, and it's like a weird animal or like a monster that jump. And I was like, it works. It works because you can have the material experience also if you want, or the gallery want, but also you can add things that are super interactive, and people can learn about things also, and they can enjoy. Also, that's for kids, for adults, and when you have this experience, I feel that it's a really cool way to mix realities. And I feel that in the future, we are going to go not just for like to be in an empty room. Sometimes we are going to need something that is material, because it's so cool to have like a we are material people with bodies, with things. So I feel that in this way we can mix realities.
Absolutely, I think it's a great way to mix realities and kind of combine the both best of I can't even talk best of both worlds. In the physical world and virtually, and those aspects. So I think that meshes really well. I also noticed that you were doing some interviews lately too. You're doing this thing called CriptoPoéticas. You were doing one with Camilo, who was also on the podcast a while back. Another tremendous artist and very, very unique. What's the purpose behind doing them? Are you doing it for personal benefit or to teach other people? What's the inspiration?
This is CryptoPoétics comes from a project that is called CryptoPoétics of Dual Reality in Medellin. This is a fellowship that I applied for the government, and it's in art, science, and technology to read the layers of the reality in Medellin and what happened with the NFTs world and crypto art world. So I started with this interviews also to teach people about different perspective of what is an NFT, not just to explain that, is how you can apply that in the real world in different ways, and also to enter in the layers of that through different parts. For example, with Camilo, we enter in conceptual art, and how he has like a big art project, and it's not just that he entered in the blockchain and in the NFTs. He was an artist, and that's I feel that when you are an artist before, that's the thing that I'm interested, because I want to create knowledge, also to have like this knowledge that someone can enter in my CryptoPoétics and say, oh, okay, I'm going to write an article about art critiques. Yesterday, for example, I had a CryptoPoetic talk with a important art critic in Colombia. That her name is Ursula, and we were talking about what is art, what is beauty, what is the meaning of an artwork, what is this materialization. I don't know what is the real, like, yeah, yeah, what is the material world, what is not anti-material world, and what is a digital world. So I like to teach people also and show them that it's not just to create NFTs and to create crypto art. It's also to have something behind, something inside that is so profound, or that is maybe not profound, but you know it. You know that is an artwork, and you can create that. So the purpose of that is more like knowledge.
Awesome. When am I coming on? I know we were going to do one pretty soon, right?
Yeah. We are going to do it like can be next week or the 2 weeks, because and it's with Bloque 79. It's in a place in Carlos Restrepo, and we are going to talk about that. And I want to interview because I want to enter in the idea that you have. So it's more like trying to read the layers of the reality. Also, it can be like reading the future, in how is the future, how we can create a future. So that's also the purpose of this CryptoPoétics.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So look out for that interview when it comes out, guys. That'll be a surprise drop at some point. This has been super fantastic, and I really do appreciate it. What's next for you? What are you working on? Do you have like a new piece that you're working on? Are you going to another exhibition or show at some point? What's on your time horizon?
Okay, I'm writing a thesis about an expedition to the Antarctica that is also like a mix of technoscience philosophy, and art. So it's a mix of things that I'm writing, also to create a piece of art. I don't know what is going to be the piece of art there, but it's also reading the layers of the reality, also to have a different perspective of the narratives in the about global warming, about what is happening with our fictions there, because in the Antarctica there are a lot of experiments with fiction. So they create fiction and they create reality there. So I'm super interested in that because it's the only place in the world and where everybody is together. I don't know if it's real, but that's something that you can read that they can't be in war. We can be in war around the world, but there is a place where everybody is in peace. So it's so cool to have a place where nobody is going to kill the other. So
Awesome. That's exciting. And good luck on your thesis too. Let me know when it's finished. And, are you planning on getting into NFTs at some point? Is that also something that maybe you're looking to do in 2023 or after your thesis?
I'm creating now, for example, with this CriptoPoéticas, and also with the knowledge that I'm searching. I have pictures with that with those things that happen. So I create the narratives, and I'm creating also the digital things. So in this moment, I'm not in the blockchain now, but I'm creating the material and with some designers that are helping with this project. So I'm creating in this moment, and because I can't escape to have like everything for me is a picture. Yeah.
Where can people find you online? Are you on social media? Is there a place people can go if they want to check out your art and some of the things you've created so far?
Yeah, my Instagram is the real Ana Escobar. I'm not a bot, the real one, the real one. So I'm the real Ana Escobar.
Excellent. Okay. Anna, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show, talk about your art, talk about what you're doing. We talked about NFTs and CriptoPoética, your thesis, so much. Very excited to see you kind of come into this space too. I think you'll do very well. And again, thank you for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Brandon, for this invitation, and I'm so happy to expand and to enter, and also to know that we can have more possibilities with this world.